The fugitive chauffeur of Yoo Byung-eon gave himself up to authorities Tuesday. He claims to know nothing about Yoo's death. Police have apprehended a group of fraudsters attempting to use fake U.S. bonds from overseas, planning a hoax investment deal. And works from all over the world are on display honoring former victims of Japanese military sexual slavery at an underground exhibition. Hello and welcome to News Today on KBS World. It's Wednesday, July 30th. I'm Luke Clary. The fugitive chauffeur of the sunken ferry Sewol's deceased owner, Yoo Byung-eon, gave himself up to prosecutors on Tuesday. During questioning that continued late into the night, Hoe-jeong testified that he was on his own and did not know anything about Yoo's death.
The personal driver of the late Sewol ferry owner Yoo Byung-eon has turned himself into authorities. Hoe-jeong had assisted Yoo as he drove the fugitive all the way to Suncheon, South Jeolla Province. Under investigation, the chauffeur said he decided to turn himself in after he saw that his wife, who also surrendered earlier, was granted release. But Yang said he doesn't know about Yoo's death. He said he was fleeing on his own and lost contact with Yoo and only heard about his death in the news. In a magazine interview he gave just before surrender, Yang said he was mortified about the fact he was suspected for Yoo's death.
내가 회장님을 살해하고 돈 20억을 갈취하는 폐륜 정계 집단의 한 모습이다. 저는 그렇게 몰고 간다는 그 느낌이 들었어요.
But regarding speculation that Yoo may have taken his own life, Yang said that was unlikely. The prosecution believes Yang's testimony must be further examined. After grilling, Yang was detained at the Incheon Correctional Facility.
All of Yoo Byung-eun's aides and relatives who were thought to have known the cause of his death have turned themselves in or have been arrested. Yet many questions about Yoo's death are still unanswered. So far, everyone is saying that they have no idea how and where Yoo spent the final days of his life.
The last time Yoo was confirmed to be alive was on June 25th at his ranch in Suncheon, South Jeolla Province. His chauffeur, Hoe-jeong, says that after his whereabouts were found, he ran away to Jeonju at dawn on June 25th without notifying Yoo Byung-eon, who was at a nearby ranch. Yang testified that the last time he met with Yoo was the evening before June 25th and that he hadn't heard from him afterwards, nor did he try to find him in Suncheon. Another of Yoo's aides, a woman named Kim Myung-suk, also testified that she visited Yoo's ranch in Suncheon 5 or 6 times, but hadn't heard anything about Yoo since late May. A female member of Yoo Byung-eon's Salvation sect, identified only by her family name Shin, has provided contradicting testimonies. At one point she claimed that Yoo left his ranch late at night on June 25th, while she later said he was hiding at his ranch when prosecutors raided it. Shin's testimony is the only information that prosecutors can currently rely on. All of the people interrogated say they have no idea where Yoo was hiding before his death. Their testimonies claiming that they had left Yoo on his own are raising eyebrows because they had been known to risk their own lives to protect him. The possibility that they are lying can't be ruled out because there's no clear evidence so far. However, the prosecutors have no way to pressure them or confirm whether or not they're telling the truth.
A group of men who attempted to use fake U.S. bonds brought in from overseas has been caught by police. The bonds were worth $600 million, and the police believe they were planning a hoax investment deal.
In this VIP room at a bank in Sewol, a bank clerk is having a conversation with a group of men who had brought bonds and documents. Then the police break in. After studying the bonds, the police seize the papers and arrest the men. What the men were trying to do at the bank was what's known as separate safekeeping. If they entrust the bank with the bonds, the bank writes them a check worth the same amount. But the bonds were fake. The forged bonds shown to be issued by the U.S. Treasury were worth $600 million. A bank official thought it was odd to safekeep U.S. bonds in Korea and reported the matter to the police.
저희가 좀 많이 이상해서 미 재무성의 홈페이지를 들어가게 됐었고 거기에서 저희가 확인을 했었죠.
The police found that 3 men, including 81-year-old Korean Japanese, smuggled the bonds from Japan 2 weeks ago. They figured any bank will write a safekeeping check for them as it's difficult to verify the authenticity of foreign bonds. They were plotting to gather investors for a bogus deal.
보관증을 이용해서 언제든지 너희들한테 돈을 기간만 되면 돈을 줄 수 있다는 그런 거짓말을 하고 나서 투자를 제3자로도 받으려고.
The police have arrested the three and are looking into if there are any other similar pseudo-investment schemes.
More and more women wearing bikinis at the beach are falling victim to secret taping. Police have even set up a special task force to crack down on the perpetrators. Take a look.
Coast Guard officials are staking out among holidaymakers wearing swimsuits at the beach. They spot a man roaming the beach with a camera in his hands as he glances from side to side. Women are outraged to find out they have been taped or photographed.
전혀 몰랐어요. 정말 당황스럽고 TV에서 요즘에 그런 교차라는가 그런 거 많이 나와서 난 얘기인 줄 알았는데.
Last year, authorities indicted 19 people who secretly taped women in swimsuits in Busan alone. As the number of perpetrators continues to grow, police set up a special task force to crack down on the secret taping of women at beaches. But although there are regulations on how to punish those who explicitly tape certain body parts, there are no clear-cut regulations on how to punish for taping the whole body. Early this month, contradicting verdicts were issued in jury trials over secretly photographed full-body images of women in dresses.
수치심이 유발될 수 있는지를 주관적으로 좀 평가를 하는 그런 기준이 적용된 것 같습니다.
Police continue to crack down on those who secretly tape women in swimsuits as the attire grows racier at beaches during the vacation season.
Prosecutors have arrested a private educational institute instructor who duped parents into paying large sums of money for a guaranteed ticket for their kids to get into a prestigious university. The fraudster took advantage of the parents' heartfelt desires to get their children into good universities, no matter what the cost.
Students and parents tend to grow nervous ahead of the college admissions period.
모의고사 성적보다 훨씬 나은 대학을 갈 수 있다라는 그런 이제 부모들의 심리가 있고.
A 42-year-old instructor surnamed Yeon at a well-known cram school in Seoul made a secret proposal to parents who came to seek his advice. He lured them into believing there's a surefire way to get their kids into prestigious universities. Introducing himself as an essay exam writer at so-and-so school, Yeon offered to look after their children and stressed he had the right to recommend certain students. For the favors, he asked for cash. He also claimed that if the parents pay the full 4-year tuition in advance, the student will retrieve the money through scholarship. Unfortunately, 3 parents in Seoul's Gangnam district fell for this total lie. The money he took since 2009 totals over $439,000. But the students all failed in their school admissions and parents filed charges against the instructor. Yeon was in fact already under investigation for a similar fraud charge. Prosecutors in eastern Seoul have confirmed his additional crime and decided to indict him under detention on charges of fraud.
This year's monsoon season has ended. It started later than in previous years, and the amount of precipitation was also smaller. For the time being, the weather in Korea is expected to stay extremely hot without much rain.
The central region of Korea saw some rainfall yesterday, but by the middle of the day, the precipitation stopped and the skies cleared. The monsoon front weakened and dissipated, marking the end of this year's rainy season.
올해는 홍수도 안 지고 비도 쬐끔 오고 말았으니까 장마 같지도 않았어요.
This year's monsoon season did not begin in Korea until July 3rd, with the average amount of precipitation measuring only 153 millimeters. That's only 43% of the average recorded in previous years, the smallest amount of precipitation during the rainy season since 1994. The rain fell mostly during the second half of the monsoon season. The storage rates in reservoirs in Gyeonggi Province rose 11% from last week, and in Gangwon and Suncheon provinces just 3%. However, the nationwide storage rate remains at around 40%. The number of rainy days during this year's monsoon season was 13, about 4 days fewer than in prior years.
장마 전선은 북쪽과 남쪽에 있는 서로 다른 공기가 강하게 부딪힐 때 세력이 발달하게 되지만 올해의 경우 이 두 공기가 우리나라 부근으로 크게 확장하지 못하면서 장마 전선의 세력도 약했던 것으로 분석됩니다.
The prolonged drought will likely cause more damage as only occasional showers are expected for the time being. Now that the rainy season is over, the hottest period of the year has officially begun. Daytime highs will hover over 33 degrees Celsius, and heat wave alerts have been issued nationwide. Tropical nights will gradually expand across the country.
When an abandoned dog is discovered, it's usually sent to an animal shelter. Now here's a dog who was once unwanted, now working at a community center and befriending senior citizens living alone and young children with working parents.
This community center is crowded with children. The children are here to see a dog named Kirimi living here. Kirimi was found at a nearby residential area early last month. She was about to be sent to an animal shelter. But her friendly nature and adorable looks endeared her to the community leader, and that's how Kirimi's life at the community center began. Kirimi's day starts just like any other civil servants. Her main task is to make 3 or 4 visits a week to senior citizens living alone and keep them company. Some elderly come to the community center just to see the sweet dog. Kirimi is also best friends with children whose parents both work full-time.
기름이는요, 보통 개보다 순해서 항상 제가 여기 오면요, 달려와서 가장 먼저 반겨줘요.
Kirimi works 9 hours a day just like other public employees at the center and helps about 100 visitors. The dog's hard work and loyalty have been rewarded with a title of Honorable Public Servant from the community center. Now a bona fide government worker, Kirimi is given more important jobs, like working as an assistant in laughter therapy sessions for depressed residents.
An exhibition on the former victims of the Japanese military's sexual slavery is being held in a subway station underground passageway. Works from all over the world are displayed in memory of the horrible plight these women faced.
This is a drawing of a girl who was forced into sexual slavery but returned to her hometown after the war had ended. She looks as if she's about to burst into tears. In another piece, the mirror images of a girl positioned one above the other represent the past and present. The drawing is meant to illustrate that the issue of comfort women is an ongoing one in need of closure.
아직도 과거의 그런 아픔들은 사라지지 않았다. 그게 또 되풀이 되려고 하고 있다. 그런 걸.
Passers-by are drawn to works of art about comfort women hung on the walls of an underground passage.
제가 나이가 72살인데 이거 보면 눈물이 나요. 우리 민족이.
An assembly was held in Paris, France last month, which called for the resolution of the Japanese military's wartime sexual slavery issue. Some 200 tourists from around the globe joined the protest to draw butterflies representing hope. A 10-meter-long banner made at that Paris demonstration is now also on display at the exhibit. The banner shows that people around the world agree that the comfort women issue is not a matter confined to Korea and Japan alone.
여성과 남성의 문제고, 그리고 전쟁을 행한 사람과 전쟁 피해자의 문제. 그렇기 때문에 상식과 비상식의 문제라는 거죠.
This exhibition, part of a public project for underground shopping centers, is scheduled to run until August 30th.
Watermelon is the most representative, popular summer fruit. Here are some tips on choosing a good watermelon and enjoying it to the fullest. This is a watermelon farm in Gyeonggi Province. With a lot of sunny days this year, watermelons are bigger and sweeter than in previous years. Here are tips on choosing a good, ripe watermelon.
이 딱 꼭지를 보면 알아요. 아, 이게 오래 안 된 거로구나. 그래서 이걸 보고서 사는 거야.
When you choose a watermelon, it's best to take it in your hands and tap on it.
이렇게 들고는 팽해져. 팽. 팽팽 소리가 나야 진짜야 이게. 퍽 소리 나는 거는 그 속이 그건 저거 피워서 망가지는 거야.
The clear sound suggests that the watermelon is ripe. When the watermelon is cut in half, the red flesh inside is exposed. The thick rind can be a headache after the flesh at the center of a watermelon is eaten up.
껍질도 아주 저기 딱딱한 겉부분만 버리고는 하나도 버릴 게 없어요.
Food scientists say that the white part near the rind is also a nutrient-rich area.
수박의 빨간 과육 속에는 라이코펜이라고 하는 색소 성분이 들어있는데요. 유방암이나 전립선 암에 효과가 있는 것으로 알려져 있습니다. 그리고 수박의 껍질에 해당하는 흰색 부분에는 시트룰린이라고 하는 성분이 들어있는데요. 이 시트룰린은 체내 이뇨작용을 도와줌으로 해서 부종을 예방하는 데 도움을 줄 수 있고요.
The lightly colored edge is good for reducing swelling, so the part is used to make a drug in Oriental medicine. To make a medicinal tea, chop the part in pieces and boil in water for 20 minutes. The drink is good for soothing the stomach and helps people overcome heat stroke. We unwittingly spit out and throw away watermelon seeds, but it's time to change the habit since the seeds are rich in nutrients like protein.
버리는 것으로 일반적으로 알려져 있는 수박 씨에도 동맥경화와 같은 심혈관계 질환에 도움을 줄 수 있는 불포화 지방산이 듬뿍 들어 있습니다. 그래서 너무 딱딱하지 않다면 수박 씨도 함께 드시는 것이 좋겠습니다.
Here is a recipe for enjoying the fruit in a unique way. That's watermelon steak. Put some olive oil on cuts of watermelon. Grill them in a pan. Add a pinch of pepper and salt to the fruit.
적은 양의 소금은 단맛을 강하게 해주는 데 있어서 이제 따뜻해진 수박에다가 소금을 살짝 쳐주시면은 단맛이 강해져가지고 색다른 맛을 느끼실 수 있어요.
Making a good summer drink with watermelon is simple and easy. Blend watermelon flesh in a bottle of sparkling water. You don't need to add honey or sugar. This alone is enough to make a wonderful summer drink. A bite of refrigerated watermelon will surely blow away the heat. Let's enjoy the benefits of all the parts of the watermelon to the fullest. It will help you beat the heat.
Outside there's a boxcar waiting. Outside the family store. By the fire breathing. Outside we wait till the face turns blue. I know the nervous.
And now we'll take a look at the markets, followed by the world weather. That's it for this edition of News Today. We'll see you again at the same time tomorrow. Have a great day.